Hello and welcome back to the Popcast. Oh wait, no. Welcome back to LUTI. This is Vaporwave versus Wipeout Punks, Group D, Div 6. I am Brush. On the mic with me is Squirrel. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, so these are two teams, highly competitive, going both 2-0 in their group, so this might be a deciding game as we move into like the mid couple sets of the LUTI bracket. These are going to be really important deciding games. So fighting for the next spot is going to be Shiver Me, Inklings, and Radioactive, but a highly contested match here. Our first map mode is Splat Zones on Inkblot Art Academy. Squirrel, what are your thoughts?
So, zones on Inkblot Art Academy, it's really important to hold control of your plat to make sure that you don't get locked out and then wiped. And it's also really important to push up ahead of the zone so you make sure that you have control of that area.
For sure. Getting up onto that plat on lockout is super important. Comp-wise, we see a 52 gal from the side of Vaporwave, or a 52 gal from both teams. Booyah from the side of Vaporwave, a Baller from the side of Wipeout Punks. Splatling on the side of Wipeout Punks, as opposed to the Firefin on Vaporwave. Vaporwave getting one pick, or getting two picks quite early there. Wipeout Punks getting one on the tent. But it's a pretty close game here at mid, just kind of fighting for control, getting their specials ready. The missiles are going to come out with the Booyah on the side of Wipeout Punks, while Vaporwave is going to crack their own Booyah, or... Sorry, the Baller coming out for Wipeout Punks. It looks like they're going to try to take a quick first cap here. Vaporwave going 3 down, just the Charger alive back on the plat.
We see an orange zap from Wipeout Punks, and that's Wipeout Punks, and that has the missiles as opposed to Ink Armor. So there's already been 3 missiles fired in the first minute of the game.
Right, we see Vaporwave going for this left side flank into zone, getting one pick as the Charger, but they end up getting pushed all the way into zone and somehow staying alive, being able to back up. 2 of their members in the zone, they're kind of alone. One of them's going to go down, leaving the 52 alone, and they're also going to go down. And Wipeout Punks is proving to have a strong lockout here, with the Zap going down last in zone, just leaving the Charger alive on plat, trying to find a place in Attic to survive. Certainly a very demanding start from Wipeout Punks, though. You know, it's LUTI, so we get 9 matches, or best of 9. So certainly these two teams just trying to feel each other out, as the Bombersh is going to come out as sort of a last-ditch effort to cap zone here. 2 going down for Wipeout Punks, as Vaporwave is finally able to cap for the first time 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I'm glad they actually got back into that. If they lost that team fight, they probably would have... the entire game would have been gone right there.
Right. I mean, I feel like we saw the Bomb Rush ready for most of the time there from that Charger. And even though Wipeout Punks is going to be able to recap here, they're going to end up going 3 down with 2 alive for Vaporwave, and the Suction Bomb Rush is going to come out just to cap the zone on a 2v3. But as I was saying, I mean, the Bomb Rush being ready most of that game was ending up being used for the lockout, or the breakout, to get back into zone there. But now we see Wipeout Punks finding the pick on the Charger. There's not going to be a Bomb Rush ready again, and this time the Booyah is going to come out in hopes to cap zone. Well, they're gonna throw it behind the zone, trying to get a pick on the 52 gal. They're gonna stay alive though, backing up. The 52 for Wipeout Punks trying to take control of top mid, which is a very important area. And now it's just a fight for cap.
And Wipeout Punks does get the cap, but as you can see, it's already 1 down, 2 down, and that's just gonna extend the lockout from Vaporwave.
Yeah, Vaporwave certainly finding their groove here, and even though the zone has been capped a couple times by Wipeout Punks just because they're demanding specials, and just a good job holding down the area and not letting anything happen. Now we're seeing the Charger take the spawn on top mid, which is really just going to give them this great advantage. The Bombersh is going to come out to try to control plat a little bit better. Hopefully we're going to see their teammates pushed up. The Zap kind of out here alone on the right side flank, but they're going to get met by their team in zone. While the Charger jumps out, they're going to take... Wipeout Punks is going to be able to take a cap.
And that's Wipeout Punks getting control of mid again. The 52 gal. Oh, and that's a 2 down situation for Wipeout Punks. That was really quick. It went from a good situation to a bad one. And
right, the
it seems like they just keep getting the cap and then not holding control of mid.
It's kind of what we saw in the opposite, just roles flipped from early game, where we saw Wipeout Punks holding the zone and Vaporwave taking 2 bad pushes in. But as the penalty points are able to finally tick down here, it looks like Vaporwave is going to be able to possibly take mid. The baller coming out, they're getting popped in mid. Just a couple more ticks left on the counter there to be able to take lead, and there it is. Armor and Bomb Rush coming out just to take the last 10 ticks off the game, and it looks like this is going to be a KO victory for Vaporwave.
That was really dominant from Wipeout Punks in the beginning, but they just turned it around. Vaporwave getting the KO, and you saw that like sometimes they would just feed into zone after getting the cap, and that's not good because you can't hold control of mid, which means that your opponent gets zone back for free. And Vaporwave really did a good job of holding mid, even if they pushed in with all 4 specials.
Right, for sure. I mean, just allowing the space to be had. So we saw Vaporwave being able to back up there and let Wipeout Punks burn through their specials, get control of mid, and then, you know, end up down because of a lack of positioning there. So great positioning and movement from Vaporwave as they go 1 up in the set. But you know, as I said, these 2 teams are still trying to figure each other out. So certainly a couple, maybe 1 or 2 more games, we'll see the 2 teams started to get into a groove and understand how the other team is playing and hopefully try to play off of it. But as we move into Rainmaker Blackbelly Skate Park, Squirrel, what are your thoughts?
So this map can go by in a heartbeat. 1 wipe and a few more picks and the game's over. So it's going to be really important to see where teams push. You can go both maps, but I think the right side is more favored because you can easily get a knockout through the block. But yeah, we're going to have these teams' defenses will definitely be tested by this map.
Right, I mean, we saw Vaporwave had that charger last time, and now looks like a quick ready up, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Stingray, though, coming out from probably both teams, honestly, as you said. Just being able to have that GG Ray at the very end, if the game is going too quickly and you're not quite able to stop the Rainmaker before it, you know, gets up onto that plat area. But I think it's important not to forget about the left side push. If you can get through the pipe, get through that choke point, it's a very open area, and that allows for the Rainmaker to stay alive longer and outlive a Stingray. We're on sort of left side there, or the faster side push. It's a little more difficult. But as the team's ready up, we're going to be able to hop into some gameplay. So here we go. Rainmaker on Black Belly Skate Park. Vaporwave is up 1-0 in the set, but it's best of 9, so we're going to have a bunch more games here to come. Bomb Rush coming out from the splash on the side of Vaporwave along with that Stingray a scope. But Insta-Pop Bubbles and a camo tent coming from Wipeout Punks in hopes of getting some picks. We're going to see Vaporwave get the first, get the pop here. No picks, though, as they start to extend out and... Splash is going to go down, unfortunately. Yeah. And Wipeout Punks is actually going to be able to take the first push here, grabbing Rainmaker and shifting it left, getting the pick on the scope and getting the jump in there. So now they're going to be able to push through left side here, if not for the zap, get them to stop there. But certainly a demanding start from Wipeout Punks. It's what we saw last time. It's what we're seeing here again.
And that was like a really good situation for them. They got 2 down and then another 2 down situation, but 81 points, that isn't a ton. But let's see, they're still holding mid, so this could easily turn into another push.
Yeah, look at them doing a great job rotating there when they saw the 2 flankers. I mean, unfortunately, those 2 members are going to go down and lose the fight. Special stand ready for Vaporwave, but just a good job recognize where their opponents were and taking advantage. The Stingray's going to come out here along with the armor as the Zap player opts to grab the Rainmaker. They're going to be able to shift this right, taking an early lead here. Just a minute and 20 seconds into the game. But 3 down on the side of Wipeout Punks. This might be the end. They're going to be able to hold forward here and get a nice dunk on the pedestal. It's exactly what you said, you know, getting that fast push, the splash being able to push all the way up there, and the squeezer kind of out of position on left side, and the Rainmaker's going to be able to take a good KO there, 2 in a row.
Yeah, that was really strong from Vaporwave. But let's not discount Wipeout Punks. Like, their openings for both games were really, really strong. But you just saw Vaporwave would just punish bad moves, and then they got control of mid, and then it just went and it just snowballed from there.
For sure. I mean, good job recognizing those opportunities from Vaporwave. They got 2 down, and that led Wipeout Punks to be desynced, and they weren't quite able to back all the way up and wait for those respawns to push as a team and stop the Rainmaker. So, with just some nice special usage and holding forward there from the Rainmaker player, they were able to get a KO. That's not true of the next map mode we're moving into. Clam Blitz on Piranha Pit. You don't have those Rainmaker pushes, you don't have the quick movement, and so it's a lot more coordinated and requires a lot more effort. What are you expecting comp-wise?
So I think Stingray is very possible as it's more of a skinny map. I also think it's very possible that we saw the Squeezer pick. Foil Squeezer is a really good bubble weapon, so that's also really helpful for pushes. We might see a little bit more of a range-based comp as Piranha Pit is a really big map, and range thrives on it, so we'll see.
For sure. I think the Stingray is a great call there. Wouldn't be surprised if we see it as well. But Vaporwave hopping off of the Charger and opting for a Nautilus to play with a little more aggression, whereas Wipeout Punks keeping their range, using that 96 gal with armor as well as the V heavy for Stingray. A fight here going on the Wipeout Punks drop there. Vaporwave is going to be able to take a trade and take control of the area, which I think is really vital to this map. You know, being able to control both drops and pinching in here, which is exactly what we see this Splash trying to make opportunities and find a way in.
Yeah, and it looks like it's fairly even in middle, but we're just waiting for one team to get those picks and getting the lead, and that's a raid coming out getting the Nautilus, which is a really big deal.
Right, an early raid there is going to lead to Wipeout Punks being able to take control of mid, get the pick on a 52 gal, and now put a power clam together and hope to push into zone. A bomb rush coming out from that splash on the side of Vaporwave, going to be able to stall Wipeout Punks a little bit armor, waste that armor a little bit longer, wasting that armor. And Wipeout Punks is going to have to back up here and try to regroup and push back in. Their Zap is going to go down, though, unfortunately. The 96 winning a fight, but going down to the Inkjet, leaving a 3v2 situation where Vaporwave is going to want to push up here and try to get some momentum.
And it looks like that 2-down situation will give Vaporwave control of mid. This is exactly what's happened in the past 2 games, although I'd like to see Wipeout Punks just play a little bit more defensive.
Wipeout Punks taking control of their drop with that 96 gal, winning the fight in the splash, and forcing Vaporwave in an awkward position where they're kind of staggered here. Just the 52 gal and the Zap trying to make noise in their own drop. They're going to toss out that wall to stop the Brella and put them in a worse position, but 96 is going to be able to back up and pair up with their Zap there and put a power clam together and hope to get their own movement. Armor coming out for Vaporwave, and armor ready for Wipeout Punks, so they're probably waiting on another special. Their Zap is going to go down, unfortunately, and that's going to force them to stall a little bit longer. And here we go. We're seeing Vaporwave take a good control of both stacks, or both drops here, and hopefully be able to push in.
So yeah, we see Wipeout Punks is all the way backed up to their gold area. With Vaporwave having full control of mid, they're probably close to their use 3 specials. This is going to be a big push if they can get the picks.
They're going to be able to take the pick on the Zap. The Heavy's the last one alive, all the way back in that useless area. And now Vaporwave is going to be able to cycle back, get more clams in. They're going to push way past the 60 mark, all the way down to 38. Now their job is to just take control of this area, hold the goal down, and be able to cycle back for more clams. As the tent moves in for a flank, they're going to be able to push all the way down to 20. Rob, the Zap, just hoping to be able to make their way in, get a couple more clams in. They're going to be able to stall the basket just a little bit more. They need 1 clam for the victory. And here we go. We see the Zap coming up from the useless with the clam, and that's 3 KOs back to back. A beautiful push in from Vaporwave, and a great job holding on to it.
Yeah, we saw 2 members keep going back to mid for more clams, and even though they were essentially 2 members away from the goal, they still held their picks, they still held their ground, and they were able to get the knockout.
For sure. I mean, we talked about how it would be a slower push from in a clams game on despite the or as opposed to the super fast push we saw in Rainmaker KO. But once Vaporwave was in there, once they had control of goal area, it was really super fast and just bada bing bada boom, getting those clams in and holding on to it. And there was one moment where the Zap was throwing those clams, and you weren't sure if they were going to be able to stall basket long enough. But teammates coming in, getting the picks they needed, and taking the victory.
Yeah, and we really see Vaporwave is really strong at holding. Once they get ground, they're really good at holding it. And because you saw these past 3 games, they'd push up and then they'd hold that and continue to push, and then eventually get the knockout. So.
Right, as we're moving into Splat Zones and Surgeon Shipyard, though. A lockout which is very particular about holding your opponent's snipe and watching the top left area by spools. So we're going to see how Vaporwave is able to approach that lockout, whereas Wipeout Punks is going to want to make sure they are playing as a team and sticking together and taking fights that are going to benefit them. They're going to stick with the 96 gal for armor, opting for the remix for Booyah, as well as a K-shot with missiles. Vaporwave, first time pulling out an E-leader in the day with Storm, as well as a Bomb Rush and Booyah, which we've seen traditionally. The 96 gal is going to go down early for Wipeout Punks. Missiles coming out on the side of Wipeout Punks, though, and they're going to try to force Vaporwave out of zone and hopefully take a pick.
And then we see Wipeout Punks go 1 down, and now you see Vaporwave has control of zone, and they're trying to lock them out, but they do not have control of snipe yet, so we'd like to see how Wipeout Punks chooses to push back in.
Right, I mean, we saw a little bit of an overextension from Vaporwave, though their teammate was there to back them up and end up getting a double, so good job pairing up, though. Vaporwave is now going to go 2 down and giving Wipeout Punks an opportunity to push into zone. The 96 gal, a little bit with an overextension, going down to the Zap and losing their armor. The Zap playing super aggressive, getting another pick on that remix, opening the field here. Now it's a 4v2 situation where Vaporwave is going to want to push back into zone, get this pick on this Brella on left, find the pick on the 96 gal, and continue their lockout.
And then they just took zone right back. That was really good. That Zap made the play. They got the pick on the remix, and that just freed up right side for their team to push back in.
So here we go.
They are going down.
Right, we're going to see the K-shot take a nice flank there, getting rid of the E-leader to start. And then 96 gal now playing a little more defensively. But look how demanding this E-leader is, just forcing everyone behind that little block at mid, making noise and stopping things. We're going to see the Brella try to stop that from happening, though. They're afraid themselves. And Armor and Booyah coming out from Vaporwave. Booyah retaliate from Wipeout Punks as Vaporwave is going to try to find opening picks to push back into zone, but they're going to go 2 down themselves and leaving the Splash kind of alone in zone along with that E-leader, and they're going to want to try to retreat here or find some victory hero plays if they're going to keep this push going.
But we saw they popped like 2 or 3 specials, and they didn't find a ton of value from that. Their armor and Bomb Rush was wasted by a Booyah just holding them out of zone. So this is looking to be a knockout coming out from Wipeout Punks, but it can always paint zone.
Yeah, not before a Booyah Storm and armor, though, from Vaporwave. So they're going to try to push back in here and do everything they can. They're going to be able to take the cap, delaying the game a little bit longer, applying 70 points to that penalty for Wipeout Punks. But now still in a worse position than they are. Wipeout Punks is going to be able to take control of zone again, fighting just a Zap alone in that right side pit.
And now they're taking through that penalty, but the Wipeout Punks has the advantage. They don't have to push up and take zone. They're already in the lead. They can just play defense from now. Right,
the Zap finding a beautiful double kill in a 2v1 situation, though, trading the second one. Gonna open the field for Vaporwave to push back in his zone and take control. So now we see Wipeout Punks doing what they haven't shown the strongest to do, which is stay back, charge their specials, push back in. Their tent is gonna overextend here. They'll get a double kill somewhere. End up in a 3v2 situation. Booyah coming out along with the missiles for Wipeout Punks. Vaporwave is gonna have to do everything they can to hold on to zone.
And they do a 2-down situation coming out, and another one. Wow, so Wipeout Punks, Vaporwave is really getting the picks, and they're through their penalty, they're scoring points now. This is looking dangerous.
Denying that push for Wipeout Punks, they're going to be able to kick down the timer again. This is almost what we saw in that first opening game on Inkblot Art Academy, though Wipeout Punks is going to be able to get a nice kill with those bubbles, taking control of zone with it, and they're going to, Vaporwave is going to end up 3 down, just the K52 gal on the respawn. But they have 40 ticks to... They have applying 50 penalty points to Vaporwave that they're going to have to tick there if they want to be able to take the lead. With just 1 minute left on the clock, this isn't looking super hopeful.
Yeah, and they've got a 50-point penalty to go through. In addition to Wipeout Punk's already having zone control, they're gonna throw specials at it. But they go 1 down already, and oh, now 2 down from Wipeout Punks, and they have control of zone again.
Right, a 2v1 situation, Fight Club going to be able to take down the K-Shot as they're going to be able to take control of mid. This is probably going to be an overtime game if Vaporwave is looking to take the win here. The Remix doing a great job controlling this snipe area, holding on to that Booyah. Wipeout, or Vaporwave is going to have to find that pick on the Remix if they want to be able to do anything here. 10 points, 10 penalty points remaining. Vaporwave looking dangerously close to taking this win here. Bubbles and missiles coming out for Wipeout Punks. Is it going to be enough to cap the zone? It's a fight at mid. They're going to find the pick on the Zap at mid, and they're going to have to find this pick on the Remix. The Remix starts one more pick, and that's going to be game. Wipeout Punks on the board 3-1.
That was a really strong game from Wipeout Punks, and they just held their snipe area. And one thing that E-leaders like to do in a lockout situation on this map is take the enemy snipe and just control spools, control plat, control the entire enemy base, essentially. And that really caused them to just... And the thing is, they didn't let the E-leader do that. They always held their snipe, and that was one thing that the Remix did that kept them from getting a lockout and sustaining that lockout, which, as we've seen, Vaporwave is really good at.
Not to be ignored is the paint difference. I mean, the E-leader really just can't control zone where the Remix can put a little bit of paint down and hold on to it. But we're going to move into Tower Reef, where paint not as important. More important, I think, is controlling hotspots, making sure you're watching that right side flank in the alley, making sure you're holding top mid on your push. We're going to see what Vaporwave is going to be able to bring to the table here, hoping to get one more win and then move on to a match point game.
Yeah, it's tower control, so Stingray is always good, but Bomb Rush can also be good. The bubble pick, I can see that. They also really like to go with a tent, so I'm looking for that tent. And yeah, Tower Control Reef is a mode where you can win quickly, but also anything can happen.
For sure. I mean, just really back and forth stuff we saw in that last game. So, Wipeout Punks is going to have to keep playing with that strength in the future if they want to be able to take this set. But Vaporwave up 3-1, as I said, it's going to be a challenge. I think certainly that tent pick is a little weaker on tower control. Reef is good for it, which is something, but certainly a struggle for them if they're going to want to take this one in particular. But as we ready up here, we'll see what their comps end up being. I think a Stingray is predictable as well as just getting them off a tower along with that Booyah, same kind of thinking there. Vaporwave versus Wipeout Punks. Tower control the Reef. 3-1.
We see a Tri-Slasher coming out for the armor and a Clash Blaster coming out from Wipeout Punks.
Right. Sticking with that unexpected pick. For sure, sticking with the tent and 96 Gallops we've seen before, but that Clash Blaster is going to be strange. I mean, good for forcing people off of tower, not so good for winning those 1v1s. But here we go. We see Wipeout Punks doing a great job controlling their tree area, putting paint down for that Clash Blaster, who's going to want to try to push up here. They're going to find a pickup. They're going to find a trade on the Tri-Slosher, forcing their Splatling to back up here as Vaporwave looks to try to push back into mid here and take control.
And it looks like the fight's still on top mid and not really under top mid. It's looking like both teams are just going to try and take control of top mid, then push the tower, but...
Right, I mean, Splatling able to play a little bit more aggression there on top mid, where the Charger has to kind of hide behind that lamppost, and that's going to mean that the Splatling for Wipeout Punk is able to find a pick. Specials coming out from both sides here, trying to force tower in their way, but Vaporwave is going to end up 3 down as the tower only gets most of the way through first checkpoint, but they're going to be able to expand their lead here. Vaporwave now moving into that alley, taking a 1v1 against the Clash Blasters to try, and they're going to trade 96 Gal going down, unfortunately, to the Charger there, it looked like. And now just a 1v1 on a 2v1 by tower and a 1v1 on top mid.
And we saw that pick on the Ray was really important because it meant that they couldn't stall out tower any longer. Now this is going to be Vaporwave making their defense, getting control of right alley. But we see their Charger going down, which means they don't have a Ray. but 3 down from Wipeout Punks, and this is where Vaporwave can make a push.
Right, we saw the Vaporwave kind of tunneling that Splatling there, and they're gonna... Spatling's gonna be able to jump out, though, ultimately going down, and that's gonna end up in a full wipe in favor of Vaporwave. 2 specials still ready as they take control of left alley there in a 1v1 against the Clash Blaster, as well as controlling that car area, controlling that plat, or that downstairs. The Stingray's gonna come out for Wipeout Punk, sorry, finding a pick, but they're gonna get through checkpoint, not enough to take lead, and the Stamp coming out from top mid. Pro's gonna go down in a 1v1 to the Clash Blaster, just leaving the Splash alive on top mid there, taking some uncomfortable fights. They're gonna find a fight against the Clash Blaster. They choose to ignore it and try to go for this pick on the Splatling.
Yeah, and we see these situations can flip instantly. It goes from 2 down to 3 down from either team. And so, again, Vaporwave still holds top mid throughout that team fight. And even though they go 1 down, they might still look to just hold mid and wait for a push.
Finding the pick on the Clash Blaster finally after being able to force tower. They're going to have 3 specials ready. The Suction Bomb Rush coming out, but not before the Pro unfortunately goes down with their Booyah ready. They're going to try to find a pick on top mid. The Stingray is going to ultimately go down and not finding a pick with it. Now it's a 4v2 situation in favor of Wipeout Punks. Both teams do that first checkpoint, though. Wipeout Punks just a little bit farther on the tower. So with 2 minutes left in the game, 3 specials ready for Wipeout Punks. It's looking like it's in their favor, though one good push in this game is anyone's.
Yeah, for sure. And that's 3 specials from Wipeout Punks. And a pick on the Tri-Slosher is going to remove their armor, and they're using 2 specials, and they're going to start to make a push now.
Right, I mean, Vaporwave opting for a slower armor than they have basically all day, getting rid of that armor one-trick zap or junior kind of play and going for the Tri-Slosher, opting for the extra aggression. Probably is going to work here against a team with a slower armor themselves, the 96 gal. The Stingray is going to find a pick on Vaporwave's Charger and 2 more going down. It's going to end up in a 1v3 situation, just the Pro with that We Are Ready, trying to rotate around and stop Tower. With 50 seconds left and Tower in Wipeout Punk's control, though, Vaporwave is going to have a demanding push here if they want to be able to take lead.
Yeah, and that's K-Pro going down in the beginning, and now they're Wipeout Punks is already continuing to push the tower. They might even get through this checkpoint, and they don't even need to push at this point. With 30 seconds left, they can just hold mid. Wow, they do, and they get the picks, and they're continuing. That's the last checkpoint.
Right, I mean, opting for the extra points is going to help them if Vaporwave is able to take it into overtime. But ending up in a 2v2 situation, now just the Charger kind of alive on tower, the Pro and the Respawn there behind them. The Charger's going to make some victory, it's going to have to make a victory play here if they want to be able to survive. But in a 2v1 situation, it's unlikely. The Stingray's going to come out, though the Tent is going to find a pick on them, tower in their control, and that's going to be another win for Wipeout Punks. Proving that they too can take wins, and they too can play demandingly.
Yeah, and it was definitely important that they didn't get locked out ever really in that game, because what made Vaporwave so strong in the first 3 games turned out to be their weakness, because they never got to that lockout phase, so they never got that demanding stance that we've seen from them before.
Sure. You know, that's an interesting point. The Vaporwave not really able to take a lockout position because of tower and not being able to really take a good lead there. But every win they have had has been a KO. And on something like Rainmaker, they've proved that they can play fast and they've proved that they can take advantage of opportunities. It's just a matter of Wipeout Punks being able to, again, back up, stand their ground and kind of push as a team and hold on to things. But in a best of 9, this is still could go either way, especially now a 3-2 game.
Yeah, and this is Rainmaker Humpback, so we're looking to see that Stingray again, and there's 2 paths you can take the Rainmaker. One's left side, which is a little bit quicker, and one's right side, which will give you more of a prolonged push and easier for follow-up. Either way, we're looking to see a Stingray and possibly C-Jet on this map, although neither team is... Although the Wipeout Punks uses Splatling primarily, and Vaporwave uses a Charger.
Right. I mean, something to keep in mind here is that unlike the Black Belly map we saw before, where the faster push is more common, I think certainly here the slower push is, and that might actually play to Wipeout Punk's advantage, who have not been able to really take advantage of opportunities in the same way Vaporwave has, but has been able to have that follow through like we just saw in that last tower game, being able to push the tower all the way through 2 more checkpoints than we really expected here. But as the timer ticks down, teams are going to have to ready up, and we're going to move into Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track Game 6.
Yeah, this could be anyone's game. If Vaporwave win this game, then it's on match point, but Wipeout Punks could win this, and it's tied up 3-3.
Right. But here we go. Traditional Vaporwave comp as we've seen with that Charger, Bomb Rush, Splash, and a 52 gal. But Wipeout Punk's pulling out a Hydra for the first time. Looks like Vaporwave is going to be able to take the first pop here, not finding a pick, but now just kind of playing a little defensively, looking for one. We see the 52 gal has that Booyah ready, and they're going to hold on to it, hoping for more specials, popping this tent shield and trying to find a pick on that tent maybe, but their splash is going to end up going down. The 52 gal marked and is going to have to back up here unless they end up in an awkward fight. Missiles forcing them back, and now the Rainmaker is going to be able to push here with 2 people out of position. The Booyah's gonna come out though for Vaporwave. They're gonna stop the Rainmaker and end up in a 3v3 situation with the Zap being out of position and going down. And now 2 more down, one of them from the Charger on the side of Vaporwave, and Vaporwave is looking now to grab Rainmaker and push their own way.
And this looks like the situation that Vaporwave tries to take advantage of when they get control of it and then they lock out Wipeout Punks. But we definitely see that they did a good job when they were all out of position of just stalling the Rainmaker long enough to get the pick. We see the splash going down though.
Right, the tent sharking here on right side for the side of Wipeout Punks, trying to find this pick on the Rainmaker. The snap's going to come out, going to get canceled though at mid, and now we end up in a 4v3 situation. Booyah ready on the side of Vaporwave, Faller ready on the side of Wipeout Punks. The K-Shot is going to find a nice flank into Rainmaker there as the Booyah comes out for Vaporwave, who is looking to make a push, but they're going to have to now retreat and back up. The Splash finding a beautiful double though, all the way up by that goal. Now in a 1v1 with that 52 gal. The 52 is going to take the pick, but I'm opening the field there for Vaporwave, which is what Vaporwave needs here if they want to be able to take a push.
Yeah, and Wipeout Punk's really doing a great job of what we said they had to, not get locked out and just hold their plat, make sure that the situation didn't get too out of hand, and they're doing a great job at this.
Right, Stingray coming out a little bit early maybe on the side of Vaporwave as Wipeout Punks opts to grab the Rainmaker. Just a couple seconds later maybe they would have found that pick on the Rainmaker, but as Wipeout Punks is able to finally push the Rainmaker though, the Booyah is going to find a double kill as the tent was on the respawn, the Hydra all the way back by their goal, and now Vaporwave is going to look to get a couple more picks maybe, and then finally be able to push the Rainmaker. They're going to find a pick on the tent there, just popping a little bit ahead of their shield as 3 others stay up, and their plat, they're going to grab the Rainmaker and just kind of lob shots possibly, hoping for these picks. Bomb Rush coming out as well, 52 gal going down, and now they're going to be able to push their own. Look at all of this map control Vaporwave has as they're going to be able to take the lead.
Yeah, and we saw they all got backed up to their goal just by Charger Shots, Bomb Rush, and that was really strong because they were all backed up to the goal, so they could have probably rushed and gotten a few more points. But
right, the Rainmaker
really
shield
good.
pop finding a double kill there as Wipeout Punks opts to shift it back to mid, try to get their own push moving. With an Ultra Stamp coming out, they're going to find a pick on the Splash there on left side, but the Rainmaker is kind of left alone here. Finally, their teammates are able to push ahead of it with the Baller coming out, and they're going to be able to hope for lead, and there it is, running across the wall there. Using the rail trick to jump and get all the way to 12, the Booyah finally finding the pick, and now Vaporwave is going to have to retaliate with an even stronger push.
That's a complete wipe, and that's Vaporwave having full control of mid. Wipeout Punks are all stuck in spawn and near their goal area, so this is when Vaporwave can make a push. The 52 gal going down.
Right, with the Splash finding a flank there and winning or trading in a 1v1 against the 52 gal. The tent now on a flank of their own. Though behind the play, they're going to give Vaporwave possibly the opportunity to push up. And they're going to try to take it, but they're going to end up 2 down with the Splash now just alive at mid. Special's ready for Wipeout Punks, and they might just try to stall the last minute of this game out. Yeah,
and right at the end there, them getting those points, it was more of desperation because they were getting pinched. And we see the Rainmaker from Wipeout Punks being held in a hard-to-reach area, they're essentially just trying to stall out for the remainder of this game.
Right, and unfortunately
going
for
down,
them, though, I think they grabbed it a little bit early, and they might explode before the 30 seconds are up here. So the Stingray coming out, going to try to find this pick on this Rainmaker, or at least that flank will, and now we see the splash on left side, hoping to get the pop here and force some points. But there we go. We see Bomb Rush and Booyah ready. The Splash trying to win this 1v1 here. Wipeout Punk's able to reset the Rainmaker, though, and get it out of that nasty spot, though. They're going to end up 3 down themselves as Vaporwave looks to find another push here.
Yeah, and right there, it was a really bad situation. Had the K-Shot not been able to get the reset, that might have been game right there. And Vaporwave taking that game, but Hammer coming up from the tent, getting cancelled. He says 52 gal getting flanked, and Rainmaker dies. That's
there you go. Now it's
Punk's getting game 3. I mean, game 6.
Yeah, we went very quickly from a 3-0 set in favor of Vaporwave down to a 3-3 set. Wipeout Punks finally finding their groove and able to take 3 sets consecutively. And if they can keep this momentum up, they're going to be able to win the set with just 2 more matches.
Yeah, and we saw that they just held their ground, and they made sure that they didn't get completely locked out. This is Splat Zone Manta Maria, so a more lockout prone mode. Let's see what they choose to pull out, since this map definitely favors range, and possibly a splalling on the crates.
Right. What we've seen from Vaporwave, though, is this Booyah Bomb Rush combo in almost every single match, either from the Charger with the Fire Fin or the Splash-O-Matic there. So we saw the aggression work with the Nautilus over the Charger or Splatling from Vaporwave before, and we saw that on the Clams match. So we might see them try to bring out the aggression here against all those flanks from Wipeout Punks, but Wipeout Punks, again, just doing a great job backing up, taking control, and then having their one player find the little flank and find the little picks they needed. So overall, some really solid gameplay from Wipeout Punks. We see Vaporwave now on our end readied up, all 4 of them, but Wipeout Punks taking a little bit longer, maybe discussing comps, discussing strategy here. I think one thing that really has stuck with me is what's really important here in LUTI as matches move so quickly and you have a weekly match is just making sure you know what you're going to do and what your game plan is. So Wipeout Punks possibly putting that together and making a game plan for how to break out and get back into zone against Vaporwave's strong lockout.
Yeah, and that's something that we definitely want to watch out for. And I'm curious to see how Wipeout Punks will respond in trying to counter that.
For sure. But here we go. In a Game 7, Vaporwave versus Wipeout Punks series is tied 3-3. Splat Zone's Manta Maria. I think a map mode certainly favoring Vaporwave and their gameplay we've seen thus far. Sticking with their backline is the Fire Fin, opting for a double Bomb Rush, though. So really just having these painting weapons, whereas Wipeout Punks is the K-Shot and 52 gal, but a Hydra and Tent, which paints a little bit worse. So we're going to see, I think, a little bit more map control from Vaporwave, which might be able to help them out. Wipeout Punks, though, finding a pick on that Charger early on. They're going to be able to take the first, or take the cap back from Vaporwave's initial push.
And yeah, just like you said, there's that Bomb Rush Booyah combo. Now with a double Bomb Rush, which means probably more painting, Stalin looking to get the pick on the 2-man bunker, not able to.
Right, the Hydra doing a great job just holding mid here and forcing their team to control, though it's not going to be enough for their 52 gal. Is going to go down and leaving Vaporwave in an advantage situation. They're going to find another pick on the Tent as they now look to move into a lockout phase, but Vaporwave struggling to hold on to cap with just the sheer bombs that Wipeout Punks is throwing their way.
And that was a nice pick coming out from the Charger. It's a 3-3 situation, but Vaporwave with the lockout on mid.
Right, specials coming out for Vaporwave to try to hold on to it, but they're going to end up in a 2-down situation, and now a full wipe. So, you know, doing what we were seeing Wipeout Punks do early on, which is not be able to back up and not quite give your opponent enough space, and that's going to put them worse off from where they were with the 4-down situation. It's the 52 gal and the Charger taking control top right. The Splash joining them a little bit later. The Bomber's coming out along with an Armor. And Vaporwave is going to try to force zone here if they can.
And yeah, they popped all 4 specials and they find the value. That's 2-down situation. And now the Splash is trying to get another pick. Not able to, but this is them with mid control. I'd like to see what they do with it.
Right, finding a nice pick on the 10th there, but the Hydra is going to be able to get away, which I think is what the Splash was looking for there. Because just the Hydra doing a great job controlling areas and controlling zone. Though Vaporwave is going to be able to take the lead here and expand a little bit more. Though Armor and Baller coming out for Wipeout Punks. They're going to try to force zone possibly. Getting one pick on the 52 gal, forcing that quick booyah. Finding another one on the Splash somewhere else. And now just the Charger and Zap alive on this plat here. The Charger is going to end up in a 1v1 against the 52 gal, somehow win, but now be able to back up all the way into street, and thankfully for Wipeout Punks, they're going to find the pick on the Charger and now leave it in a 3v3 situation.
Missile pop, that's an early special pop, but they seem to just be scouting for locations. Gets the Charger, which is super important too.
Right, and now the 52 gal is going to go down as well. So those early specials paying off for them, thankfully. And now just leaving the Zap alive in this street area, kind of getting crushed on now with this pinch with the K-Shot and 52. And that's going to be no more armor for Vaporwave as Wipeout Punks is able to take the lead. But here we go. We see Wipeout Punks take control of this top right area. The 52 going down to an unfortunate suction bomb with 20 ticks left. That might be actually the deciding factor of this game, with the Bombers coming out not being quite enough to force both zones. And Vaporwave is just kind of holding forward here, hoping to do everything they can.
And yeah, the Splash going down though, they've burned through almost all of their specials, and they get the cap, but a 2-down situation means that Wipeout Punks is still going to hold control of mid, but the Charger getting a pick on the Hydra, that's important.
Yeah, the Hydra on that respawn, but the Charger's going to go down and just end up alone on right side there. And now Vaporwave back in the spot they were in just a couple moments ago with timer ticking down for Wipeout Punks and them having to charge their specials. Armor's going to come out though, but it's not like it does not look like Vaporwave is going to be able to truly take advantage. The Bomber's coming out as well. Now it's Vaporwave's chance to pull out that booyah, pull out their specials, and try to get zone and take a lockout.
And that's 45 points left on the penalty, but 50 seconds left. They can just hold mid here, although they do go 2 down, which is the opportunity for Vaporwave to push back in.
Vaporwave is going to find another pick on that 10, ending up in a 3v3 or 3v1 situation. But somehow the zone is going to fall back into the hands of Wipeout Punks. And as the respawns come in, it's going to be another battle at mid. Vaporwave is going to take the zone cap. But with such strong control on right side from Wipeout Punks, they're going to easily be able to walk back in here and find a pick. The Hydra, though, going down, which is kind of a linchpin for their comp here, as Vaporwave now looks to take control of the opponent's zone.
And yeah, they're still contesting mid, 10 seconds left. It's a 3-3 situation. Are they going to be able to cap both zones for overtime?
The Bia comes out and ends up with Vaporwave 2 down, and they're going to be able to get an overtime cap here, but now just facing this Hydra trying to paint over zone against them. This Charger's really looking for this pick on this Hydra, that they're doing a good job backing up and staying alive. The Splash is going to end up alone in a 1v1 in street. They're going to be able to back up, though, as the Hydra rotates back around. Penalty points now finally gone for Vaporwave, and they just have to take down 15 more. The Splash is going to go down, unfortunately, though, as specials come out to try to force zone. 10 more ticks. Wipeout Punks is going to be able to cap zone. The Baller coming out to force the other one, and that's going to be another win for Wipeout Punks, now moving into a match point game.
And yeah, they just completely turned it around. 3-0 and then 4-3. That was really good because they were able to just hold out, and then they turned it around. The thing that we called Vaporwave so good at in the first 3 games, almost in this game, Wipeout Punks became a lot better holding their ground in lockout situations when they were trying to lock out the enemy team and when holding their own ground. So that was really cool.
For sure. I mean, doing a great job staying alive there. I don't think we saw Wipeout Punks wipe more than once that game, whereas Vaporwave took a couple unfortunate wipes in their lockout phases. And just a great job finding those flanks. Wipeout Punks being able to take the final zone cap off of one as well with that Baller. So they know their comp well, and they know how to play it clearly. It just took a little bit of time for them to get into the rhythm. Clown Blitz Mako Mart, though. We saw a very beautiful game from Vaporwave earlier in this set, but on a faster paced map, Mako Mart over the Piranha Pit we saw before, Wipeout Punks actually might have an advantage here.
And yeah, Clown Blitz Mako Mart, that's a map where it's really small, so it's easier to score, but at the same time, it's also hard to score if it's a 4-4 situation because you can just hold your goal. I'm very curious to see if they'll continue with the tent bubbles strategy. Bubbles are really good on this map. But we might also see more of that aggression coming out from Vaporwave with the Nautilus.
Right, and as the timer's going to tick down here, both teams looking to ready up. I think something to keep in mind here is lockout on this push. Similar to what we saw in the pick game, Vaporwave is going to want to take control of the goal area, take control of bunker as well, and try to rotate around and keep the clams coming in and supporting that clam economy. But teams readying up here, we're going to go into game 8, match point in favor of Wipeout Punks, looking for a reverse sweep.
Yeah, and that was really important because now it's completely flipped the other side. If Vaporwave wins this game, it's going to be whoever wins the next game, going all the way to game 9.
Right, Wipeout Punk's opting for no armor. Vaporwave with a slow one from the Try. Trident is a great weapon for Mako, though, with all these stacks and boxes. A great job to control it. But, and that's what we're going to see. We're going to see 2 down in favor of Vaporwave as they're going to be able to push up here and take control. Just trying to find some clams and toss them around, though, and they're not going to be able to really capitalize as we're only 30 seconds into the match. Doing a good job controlling map, though. Just doing a great job pushing up and getting that right stack. We see the Tri-Slosher just holding onto it for dear life. They're going to find another pick on the tent and an Inkjet coming out for Vaporwave as they're finally able to get to 9 clams, but still not be able to put a power clam together. Finding 2 more picks is the Inkjet, and they just can't push in yet. The Booyah's going to come out on the side of Wipeout Punks as Vaporwave looks to push in. A Booyah coming out for them as well. And finally, they're able to get to 20 clams and maybe toss them around and get that power clam going.
That was really weird because they got a lot of opening picks and really good situations to push, but they just didn't have the clams to do it.
Right.
And no score in the first minute.
Unfortunate too, because I think there was like 2 wipes Vaporwave had there, but now just being forced around the map is this splash with the ball. The bomb rush coming out, them trying to take control of something, but not looking for anything. They're trying to pick on the K-shot. They're not going down on their own team, though. Booyah coming out for Wipeout Punks is going to find the pick on the ball carrier, and now it's a 4v3 situation in favor of Wipeout Punks, looking to get clams of their own and push in.
Yeah, and both teams have their control of their stack, but we see Vaporwave is ready for a push. And that's a 2-down situation. This might be their opportunity. They do get the ball in, and 3-down situation. This is where they might be looking to score a lot of points.
Right. So here we go. Basket open. They're going to be able to get to that 60-point lead, 60-point markets, which is what you want to see. Just there are a couple more, but it looks like they're going to get fully wiped here, which is, or the splash just alive by a goal there. Trying to make some more noise and hold things, but now they're going to go down, and that's a full wipe. Though possibly that distraction doing enough to give them their teammates time to respawn and push in here. They're going to toss the ball around the tent, trying to do something, and they're going to be able to. And Wipeout Punks is going to be able to look to control mid and push in themselves.
But again, that's below 40 points. That's only 3 power clams, and given how many clams Wipeout Punks has right now, it could easily make it happen.
Right, but they're going to have to find the picks first. And with their K-shot going down, that's not going to be enough. The baller coming out for Wipeout Punks. They're going to try to push in and make something happen. They're not going to find a pick, though. They're going to be able to back behind this tent. The 52 gal somehow staying alive. But there we go. Finally going down to that splash. As they look to rotate back around and control their side. The tent going down as well, though. Now we have an advantage for Vaporwave, and they're going to look to make a second push. The ball carrier going on that left side, pulling out the bomb rushes, just try to control some turf and able to then finally hold forward. But they're going to try to get this ball in through snipe.
And the ball doesn't make it there. Still, there are a lot of clans on the map, and they could easily get a lead. Although, as I say that, Vaporwave goes 2 down, and Wipeout Punks gets immediate mid control. They might even get left the enemy stack, but let's see how Vaporwave chooses to defend here.
Right, they did a good job the first time with all these clams ready for Wipeout Punks. They were able to hold onto their area, but with one going down and specials ready for Wipeout Punks, possibly a faster push in, forcing it into their favor is going to happen. With only 50 seconds left on the clock, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, for sure. And Wipeout Punks just really not being able to find their footing in mid and get control of right stack and get those good situations that they're looking for to push. Although there's a jump in with the ball, they score, but that's again a 3-down situation, so they're not going to have an opportunity to follow up.
But they're looking for an overtime push here, but the Remix playing back and playing some defense with this ball ready, along with that Booyah. Vaporwave is going to try to force a couple more points on the board with that Inkjet and Booyah ready, but the Splash is going to find an unfortunate pick. The K-Shot going down, though, to the Nautilus as they control right stack, and look at all of this map control Vaporwave it has.
And the Wipeout Punks still does not have control of their own stack, so that's not great. And the 52 gal going down with an Inkjet getting popped, although there's a jump in on unexpected flank. They could get lead here.
But without many clams on the board and unfortunate picks in favor of Vaporwave, the basket's going to close, and we're going to end up in a Game 9, 4-4 Vaporwave versus Wipeout Punks.
Yeah, that was really unexpected. You saw it went 3-0 with 3 knockouts, then it went 4 games in a row, then Vaporwave taking this game, and as you can clearly see, these are very evenly matched teams.
Right, Vaporwave not wanting to have that reverse sweep happen. They're going to take one more game here and end up in a 4v4. And the tower control and on Anchovy Games is going to be the decider for this competitive set. I know, as we said in the very, very beginning, Vaporwave and Wipeout Punks, both 2-0 teams in Group D here, Div 6. So they're fighting, actually, for a possible playoff spot in the future. Tower control, what are your thoughts on who this favors?
I think that both teams can be really strong here because we see Vaporwave does like to play to more range with that charger, although this is a map where the tower can just go by really quickly if you can get control of the opponent's plat. So I think that we're looking to see possibly Rays, as on the previous tower control maps we've seen Ray from both teams. Also Bomb Rush is really strong, so maybe we see that Bomb Rush Booyah combo come out. Really
For
anything
sure.
could happen in this game.
But I think something super common on Anchovy Tower is this Inkjet. And we see their backline Mao ready up quite quickly, the person who's been flexing to Nautilus all day. And with that Inkjet getting many crucial picks last game, that could actually be the deciding weapon, the deciding special for this one. As the team's ready up here, Tower Anchovy Games for the win on Week 3, Vaporwave versus Wipeout Punks.
Yeah, that Inkjet might be crucial, and especially for taking the opponent's snipe area. We do see no Nautilus, so no Inkjet, but pretty standard comps. We have Bomb Rush Booyah from Vaporwave, and that double armor plus Clash Blaster again from Wipeout Punk.
Wipeout Punk's having that double armor is going to help them stay alive in this one. But the Stingray is going to try to chew through as much armor as they can when it's popped. But now it's just an opener game, a standard. Armor's going to come out for Vaporwave. They're going to look to try to find some opening picks here. Armor ready, though, for Wipeout Punks. And if they can catch Vaporwave on an overextension, they're going to be able to pop that armor and take advantage. Bomb Rush coming out, though. They're going to try to force Arcade, though. The Hydra finding the pick before anything could happen. And the first armor is popped, along with missiles for Wipeout Punks as they look to take control of mid and get their own push going.
And now that's a 2-down situation. Wipeout Punk's looking really strong in the beginning, in the first minute of this match. Although that I think it is Zap on their court, getting the pick on Hydra, which is really huge because now they're not going to have the person to push tower.
Ooh, but
They
a
do get
beautiful
another
flank with
two down
that.
situation.
Yeah, beautiful flank with that hammer by that stack area and that arcade. Sorry, they're gonna be able to take the pick on the Zap, and now Vaporwave. The second time I've done it, Wipeout Punks is gonna be able to take tower and hopefully push through this first checkpoint, which is a crucial choke point. Look at how such a good job they're doing though, controlling the stack or this arcade area, but it's gonna try to be forced into Vaporwave favor with that bomb rush. The Stamp coming out again, gonna find a pick on the splash, which is gonna get rid of that bomb rush. Now just the Stingray ready on the side of Vaporwave, while Wipeout Punks is gonna pull out that armor.
Yeah, and we definitely see Vaporwave, or no, Vaporwave is doing a really good job of, even though they've gotten pushed back, they're holding their flat area, which is crucial because you can easily go to that last checkpoint and the knockout if you aren't careful to hold that. So we clearly see they used specials at the right times, and now they're coming back from a push, although Wipeout Punk still has control of mid, and that's a 2-down situation. They might be looking at another push.
They're finally going to find the pick on that 10th, though, who's been terrorizing this arcade area the entire time, and with those hammers. A trade on the Hydra is the scope, and Wipeout Punk's just kind of solo pushing tower here, hoping to force Vaporwave into an awkward situation. They're going to back up, and the Clash Blaster's just going to try to shark here and find some nice picks. The armor kind of wasted, though, and Vaporwave trying to find a pick or something to get some movement going, while Wipeout Punks is using that piston there on the far right to find a flank. They're going to end up behind this fan area sharking, and the tent is going to look for this pick in a 1v1 against this Zap.
But again, you see that Vaporwave has not gotten mid control in the first 2 minutes 30 seconds of the match, although the sides were completely flipped with 2 people on the enemy plat arcade area, and now the tent is in their base, and this push is going the other way really quickly.
Controlling that window area is super important on your team's push, and with 3 specials ready, including that hammer, the hammer is going to be thrown into Snipe, trying to get a pick on the Stingray. They're going to miss, though. The armor player going down for Wipeout Punks, and so is the Hydra. Missiles coming out, though a little bit of a waste. And Vaporwave here with their armor ready is going to try to get a push moving. They're going to pop the armor, Booyah and Bomb Rush ready, as their Zap is going to hop on tower. Though Vaporwave is going to want to push ahead of tower if they want something to happen. The Clash Blaster going down, which is going to be super vital, because that's that burst area down. Bomb Rush coming out as they're going to finally get to this first checkpoint and try to force it.
Yeah, they definitely need to get more picks, otherwise their charger player is just going to die. They do get a trade, and it's a 1v1 situation. If Vaporwave gets this pick, they can probably still hold mid and continue their push.
And that's exactly what they do, but with the respawns coming in, it's going to have to jump to tower, which is a little bit risky. They're going to be able to force just a little bit past lead with 45 seconds on the clock, and now they're going to be able to push a little bit farther, closing in on that second checkpoint. Vaporwave is going to have to do a great job controlling this arcade here if they want to stop this game from going into an overtime. With Booyah coming out and Stingray as well, they're going to try to force a couple more picks and force a little bit farther. The tent ending up behind the tower there. No one's going to be able to see them and find the pick. The Stamp's going to come out, and the 52L is going to go down, but leaving a 3v3 situation, Vaporwave is in a very nice spot.
Yeah, and they just completely turned it around in the last minute of the game. Wipeout Punks has a difficult task with almost 10 seconds left, and they're 2 down.
And they're
going to have to get tower to get overtime.
Right. Both armors ready, but with the 96 gal going down and armor being popped in just a 2v3 situation, Vaporwave is going to control mid here and hop on tower and take the game with a last minute push, ending up 5-4 in a game 9, winning the entire set.
That was a very close set. Both teams are very evenly matched, but their strengths are vastly different. Vaporwave kind of has that lockout strength, and Wipeout Punks has like more of an aggressive style of play where they're just trying to force picks and just making sure that they are always putting on pressure, even if they're 2 down. They make sure that they apply pressure to continue to like hold mid.
For sure. I mean, just great back and forth gameplay. Though Vaporwave proving superior in the first couple games, Wipeout Punks retaliating, but Vaporwave not having any of it and coming back from a 3-3 or a 4-3 situation and winning 5-4. I don't believe we have anything else. We might try to look for someone else to raid here, but thank you everybody for coming out to this LSL spotlight of LUTI. That was Div 6 Group D. We should have some other games going on this week, or at least next week. So once again, thanks everyone for coming out. Vaporwave has won the set. We will see you another time.